Amazing. What's going on, guys? Happy Tuesday evening. Sorry that I'm late. I know I should have started the broadcast about a half hour ago. Difficult business, difficult business. Had some technical difficulties to deal with, but all of that has been resolved. So we can start the show. Amazing. How are you guys doing tonight? I know it's late, but sooner than well, the sooner than better. I mean, sooner than never. Sooner than never. All right, guys. So let's get into it. Obviously, if you guys um haven't seen the headline, the title of the topic of the show is "They Lied About Putin." And who am I speaking with in particular? Who lied about Putin? Well, the media has lied about Putin. You name them, they're out there. CNN, MSDNC, NBC, ABC, CBS, the New York Times, the Washington Post, the Huffington Post, even Fox News to a certain extent about Vladimir Putin. And what they're lying about is the simple fact that Putin somehow is supposed to be this cold-hearted dictator, gangster that decides to just go around and create havoc whenever he wants to. It's amazing that they are painting this picture based on the way that he is handling the invasion of Ukraine uh, about a year ago. But ask yourself this question. Well, first of all, obviously, with the invasion of Ukraine, thousands of people killed, and they are saying that, or at least the media is trying to portray Vladimir Putin as a person that is a dangerous person that is hungry for blood and looking to slaughter people at his own amusement. But one has to ask themselves this question, considering the fact that Ukraine is also bordered with other countries such as Poland and the rest that are NATO allies. Why would Putin want to invade Ukraine if 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 there's no advantage in doing so? Do you think any leader just wakes up during the day and just says, just wakes up during the day out of their bed and just says, you know, I just feel like invading a country today. No, that will have ramification and repercussions considering the fact that there are countries that are allies with with NATO that would that will cause invading the country detrimental to their country, considering the fact that once a country that's already an ally of a coun of I mean, that's already an ally of multiple countries, that these multiple countries can get together, declare an Article 5, and can basically wipe your country out of the um out of the world if they wanted to. So what sense does it make for Russia to invade Ukraine? This is the thing that unfortunately the media doesn't want to tell you. What the media doesn't want to tell you is that initially Ukraine was encouraged by the United States, mainly the Biden administration, in, to join NATO. And we all know that NATO is nothing more than an organization that acts like an antagonist, instigators, if you would like to say, if you would like to put it. Quite frankly, they're nothing but a bunch of instigators that are telling other countries. Well, to be quite honest with you, NATO was just basically there to destabilize and to neutralize Russia, keep them in check, keep them in line. But didn't they already do that? Didn't they already do that a long time ago when President Reagan was responsible for the dissolvement of the USSR, aka the Soviet Union? He was responsible for breaking up the Soviet Union, and NATO played a role in that. So, what is the purpose for NATO to continue to neutralize Russia? Why? That's the question that you need to ask yourself. It will be equivalent to multiple countries ganging up on the United States and saying, "Well, let's neutralize the United States." It's the same as Cuba deciding, "Well, we're going to defend ourselves against the US because we feel that the US is a threat, and we're going to just point missiles at that very country." You know for a fact that we will sink Cuba before Cuba sinks us. And so if the United States of America is allowed to defend itself, why not Russia? Doesn't Russia have every right to defend itself? Doesn't Putin, as the leader, as the president of Russia, have every right to defend his sovereignty, to defend his sovereign nation, to defend his sovereign nation? Doesn't he have every right to do so? Why is the media painting Vladimir Putin as a gangster and a killer and a mobster for Vladimir Putin doing the very thing that he should be doing, and that is defending his country? Why? And why are we getting involved in wanting to fight Russia and using Ukraine as the buffer to do so? I mean, it was Ukraine that wanted to join NATO. So Ukraine and if it, for those of you that are unfamiliar with the way Russia is set, I mean the way that Russia and Ukraine are and how close proximity that Ukraine is to Russia. Ukraine is basically bordering right off of Russia. If Ukraine joins NATO, they will be allowed to have missiles pointed right at the border of Russia. Russia can't have that. They can't have that. They're basically sending out the message, listen, we will destroy you before you destroy us. It's no different from what the United States should be doing. It's that simple. And that's the reason why Putin is taking the the ability to invade Ukraine. They want to destabilize Ukraine because they feel that Ukraine is a threat. But that's something that the media will never tell you, okay? They will never tell you that. Now keep in mind, back in 2008, there were talks about two countries bordering Russia joining NATO because NATO was interested in expanding its alliance among other countries bordering around Russia just to keep Russia in line. All they were doing is causing trouble. So in 2008, NATO was encouraging Georgia and Ukraine to join NATO. And Putin looked at it as a threat, and he went in and he invaded and wrecked Georgia because of that. And why would Georgia even decide to even want to join NATO? Well, it's simple. At the time, the president of the United States at the time was George Bush. And George Bush was the same guy that decided to invade Iraq. And the purpose of doing that was because he wanted to uh, find weapons of mass destruction because there was a weapon out there that was threatening to destroy countries amongst the world, including the United States. They needed to find the weapons of mass destruction, only to find absolutely nothing. The real reason why they invaded Iraq was because of the war. So the president already lied about why he was in Iraq in the first place. But the main reason why they were in Iraq is because they wanted to take over. They wanted to end the dictatorship in Iraq. They wanted to bring democracy upon Iraq. Keep in mind, United States of America is the greatest country on the planet. All right, I will stand by that. It is the greatest country on the planet. It is also a country that stands by its own principles and its own constitution. The very constitution that, while it works for us, does not work for other countries. And for us to go in and have to try to stabilize or try to throw our weight around and throw our democratic influence upon other countries, of course you're going to expect resistance, and it's unnecessary resistance because what works for us does not work for other countries. Shouldn't really care about how other countries are really treating um about how they're treating their people, because keep in mind, all right, we have our own issues to deal with. All right, we have inflation, illegal aliens, high crime in our country, people pitted against each other in a race war that was created by politicians, mainly the progressive politicians, aka the Democrats and the Rhino Republicans. We have our own issues to deal with. We can't worry about what's going on in other countries, especially unless it has some type of a political, unless it has some type of a financial incentive or a diplomatic incentive to it. There's no need for it. Okay. But somehow, some way, because we feel we're the United States of America, we feel the right to have to be the bullies and and allow our and allow um our beliefs, our our beliefs of trying to spread democracy all throughout the world and telling other countries that they need to get on board, or else, well, that's going to rub a lot of countries the wrong way. It really is. Okay. Truth of the matter is, the wars, the prior wars that we fought, when we fought for our freedom, especially our freedom from Britain, really should have been it. All right. The only reason why we want to attack another country is if a country attacks us. Outside of that, we really should be leaving other countries alone and managing themselves. That's the way it should be. The problem is, we're the United States of America. We feel that we need to be the big brother to all of these other countries, including well-developed countries. And what they're trying to do with Putin is that they wanted Putin to get along. Well, at the time when George Bush was president, George Bush wanted to spread this whole democracy upon other countries, and they wanted other countries to enact that the ideology of democracy and spread it throughout their country. Putin wasn't having that. Putin wanted to restore what worked in his country, and that is um, the rule of ruling the country with an iron fist. Hey, it works for him. It doesn't really matter how Putin runs his country because, to be honest with you, do you hear about Putin going around and just killing people for no reason? No. He wanted his country to run opposite of the way the Western um out of the way that the Western countries were running their country. And Putin seen that Bush trying to influence Iraq into into being a democracy country, took that as a threat. So the thing about Putin is that they try to make him look like the bad guy when really all he's trying to do is defend his country. And to be honest with you, we have no business even trying to deal with Russia because it's not as if Russia is giving off any indications that they are a terrorist country. Russia wants to be left alone. Russia wants to do their own thing, and they should. And we should focus on our own issues at home and stop trying to make every other country like the United States of America. It just doesn't work that way. Never have, and it never will. That's the truth. Especially when you have, um, especially when it's shown that Putin wants to just restore and maintain of what's left of Russia. Soviet Union has been broken up. The very countries that were a part of that used to make up the Soviet Union are long gone, and and Putin knows he'll never get that back. And I think he's fine with that. Um, what he won't be okay with is to have other countries then come in and try to take over and influence Russia in a way that is non-Russian. So trying to blame Putin for being a dictator and a gangster and a thug, it's just irrelevant. It's completely irrelevant and untrue because all Putin is doing is just trying to defend himself and trying to really defend himself, but defend his country and not have the country turn into what we see in the West. Because the United States, although it's a great country, morally, it's a corrupt country. We have a long way to go, and Putin sees it. He sees that in the United States we're fighting each other, you know, and he doesn't want that in his country because then that causes turmoil and chaos within the country. Now, the International Court Committee, I believe about a week ago, issued an arrest warrant for Vladimir Putin. for war crimes that he committed upon Ukraine. Really. What about the crimes that the president of Ukraine is doing? He knows that he is looking to threaten Russia by joining NATO, and that's the reason why Putin is attacking. Putin is not this mad man, this mad gangster, this thug that everyone tries to make him look like. All he's doing is defending his sovereignty, the same way that we would against any country that we feel wants to attack us. We would take the same measures. If we do it, if we do it, then we're heroes. When Vladimir Putin does it, he's a villain. No, I'm going to defend my country. It's that simple. Okay, and you can't turn around and make Putin look like this madman, this gangster, and yet you allow, how can I put this? Yeah, you can't really make Putin to be this madman and this gangster um when he's doing the very things that you once supported. For instance, Joe Biden, the moment that he became president in 2021, he immediately stopped the the Keystone pipeline, which would have allowed us to be completely independent of of fossil fuels. We could have been completely independent of fossil fuels because we would have been able to get the gas, to get the oil from Canada and bring it in, and we would have been able to have access to fossil fuels at a cheaper price. He stops that, but yet he approves the Nord Stream pipeline that Russia was able to build in Germany. So now Germany is going to be completely dependent upon the gas from Russia, and among other countries too that depend on the fossil fuels from Russia. But then you want to say that Russia is the problem. If Russia's the problem, well, we're helping them. The Biden administration is helping Putin gain that power. It's that simple. That for some reason the media doesn't want to speak on. But again, I don't believe that Putin is the issue. Don't believe everything that you hear on about the media about Vladimir Putin. Now they want to arrest him for quote unquote war crimes. Well, it's nonsense. Vladimir Putin um, has. Vladimir Putin has more than enough money to to stay and relax in Russia. Arrest him for war crimes? You mean arrest him for actually wanting to defend his country? Really? So if we decided to invade Cuba because Cuba wants to point missiles at us, would you have the president of the United States arrested for war crimes? I don't think so. Because we actually have a doctrine, okay? I believe it's the Nelk Amendment. Let's say I believe it's the Nelk Amendment. Yes, let me see. Hold on one second. Want the Platt Amendment. Sorry about that. I said the Nelk Amendment. Look at me. The Platt Amendment, in which in which Cuba won't be able to attack us. I mean, listen, If we would have went out and did the very thing, like for instance, let's say Canada decides to go rogue and they decide that they want to point missiles at our border and we decide to invade Canada and wreck Canada before Canada can destroy us. Will anyone be coming after us? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. So if we can defend our sovereignty, why can't Russia? Is Russia the real issue? No, I think the issue is the fact that Russia wants to stand on its own and that they don't believe that another country should tell them what to do, and rightfully so. We don't go around allowing countries to dictate how we should operate. So why should other countries listen to us as far as how we operate as a country? Food for thought. Food for thought. Amazing. But I think this entire idea about Putin being this gangster, being this monster. I mean, they're comparing this guy to Hitler. No. All right. The very countries that border Russia that threaten to join NATO and threaten to attack Russia are the reason why they are getting that type of resistance from Vladimir Putin. It's that simple. When you feel that your back is against the wall, when you feel threatened, you're going to attack. It's that simple. You're going to get them before they get you. And Georgia and Ukraine happen to be the main threats to Russia, mainly because they are bordered at Russia. Do you honestly think that Putin would even want to attack Georgia in 2008 and Ukraine and part of Ukraine in 2014, taking over Crimea, which is a strategic way for Ukraine not to even want to attack Russia in the event that they wanted to? Do you think that Putin would even care about attacking these countries if they didn't pose a threat to his country? Think about it. We wouldn't allow Canada or Mexico to point missiles at us. So why do you think that Putin would allow Georgia and Ukraine to do the same? No. You get them before they get you. And the point that I'm making about this is hundreds of millions, no, millions, hundreds of billions of dollars of our tax dollars have went towards aiding towards missiles to aid Ukraine in fighting Russia. Why? Why? This is not our fight. We have bigger fish to fry and other things to deal with. All right? All the money that they're using in aiding Ukraine to fight Russia, and yet they can't use that money to help the very people that are still stuck in Afghanistan because of the way that mainly because of the way that we dealt with the invasion, with the Taliban invading Afghanistan. People are still trapped there, and we can't use money to try to get them out, but we can use billions of dollars to funnel to Ukraine to fight Russia. Forget them. I don't give a damn about Ukraine. And to be honest with you, I don't give a damn about Russia either. Whatever Russia wants to do with Ukraine, that's their business. That is their business. You guys decided to give Russia all the leverage, so you made your bed, so shall you lie in it. You care less about what Russia does to Ukraine. It's not our fight and it's not our business. But amazing though. Amazing conversation. But I'm gonna leave it here, leave a comment in the comment section. Click the like button, leave a comment, click the like button, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. As you'll be able to get more content on the double. Also, click on the notification button so you'll be notified when new content is dropping. And with that being said, this is D Conservative, and I am ending this broadcast. So until next week, I will see you guys later. And also, if you happen, also, I'm just letting you guys know right now that I was supposed to do beta of the week, but instead I'll just do a separate video of beta of the week and I will release it. So stay tuned for that. I'm signing out. Amazing. God bless America. God bless America. We have our own issues and we really need someone to really make America great again. Put America first as opposed to putting everything else, including other countries that don't matter to us first. And that's the reason why we are anticipating the great white hope, Donald Trump, to get back into office and make America great again. Amazing.